So, like I was saying, this poem is popular not only in India but also in Bangladesh. And in fact, in Sri Lanka, there is a Sinhala translation of this poem. So, now let's have a look at the actual poem. Right. So it's a short poem. And like I was saying when I was talking about Tagore, that he was a fabulous painter. So, in fact, what you see on your slide is one of Tagore's own paintings. Right? So now let's go to the poem. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not yet been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. So now let's look at these four lines first. It starts with where. Each line starts with where. So it indicates that he is talking about a place, a space rather. It's not an actual territorial place, but it's a space. It's more of an idea, a vision which Tagore is presenting. And what is that vision? What kind of a space is he envisioning or imagining? He's saying a place where the mind is without fear, so, where we can be fearless. Now, what does that mean? Why should we be scared? Well, Tagore was a person who knew that independence from the British, which Indians were fighting against, the British were a force that Indians were fighting against. And it was apparent that sooner or later India would become a free nation. But Tagore was one of those astute and intuitive and insightful people because of his wisdom and his philosophical insight that he realized that only becoming independent will not solve India's problems. India has a lot of domestic homegrown problems also, which are a result of the evils that are a part of our society. And it is not unusual because every society has its own evils. So, as true freedom fighters, if we call ourselves freedom fighters, our true adversary, our true enemy is not only the British. Of course, they have to leave India, but it is also those evils which are plaguing our society. And as responsible, progressive, modern individuals desiring freedom, we have to make sure, those of us who have taken the responsibility of freeing our nation, we also have to take the responsibility of freeing our society from its evils. A society which discriminates between on the basis of gender, on the basis of caste, on the basis of class, on the basis of religion. So these were some of the evils, and there are those evils even today, right? We can't say that we live in an equal society even today, right? So Tagore had this vision in the year I mean, in the years before independence, where everyone wanted, they were going around harping the same tune that we have to get independence for India. Tagore was someone who sat back, who reflected, and who said, no, first of all, we need to realize that there are so many evils at the domestic level where the kind of society we live in, we do not allow everyone the same freedom. And that is why there are some people amongst us, there are some sections of society who live in constant fear, who are compelled to lead lives of shame and guilt, right? So he says, I want a country, I need an India where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. So, when do you hold your head high? When you're proud of yourself, or when you have a sense of belonging. How do we sing the national anthem? We sing it with our head held high, right? But Tagore knew this was not the case in India. Not everyone was treated equally. And that is why he is looking at an India that is egalitarian, an India that is a true democracy.